Good evening, everyone. I hope you're enjoying your meals. Once again, my name is Betty. I am a senior in the college studying philosophy from New York City. So typically at Shabtai, we go around and introduce ourselves, a la the way I just did. But there's quite a few of us here tonight. So instead of doing a traditional kind of round-robin situation, I am going to just ask a few people to go ahead with these introductions. The way that we do it is there is usually a sort of thematic question that people are going to answer. So I'm going to pose the question, and then if you have an answer you think is really compelling, we'll go around. I'll choose a few people to say, again, their name, hometown, Yale affiliation, and then their answer to the question. So I was talking to Professor Wolfson and Shmuley before this lovely dinner began, and Professor Wolfson drew our attention to the epigraph of his book, which I believe is making the rounds right now. I'm not sure who has it. But I was actually inspired to sort of alter the question in honor of this, which is, who has the book? Max, would you mind reading out loud what
the first
there's
quotation, two quotes. One from Shlomo Zalman of Liadi and one from Bob Marley.
Use the mic if possible.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the mic, yeah.
And
So
I'm
we're
not even using the mic,
we're
sorry.
recording.
My name is Max Greenstein. I am a freshman in Grace Hopper Residential College at Yale, studying prospectively history and religious studies from Reno, Nevada. The ultimate perfection of the days of the Messiah is the aspect of birth, the revelation of the divine light within the depth of a person's heart. Shneer Zalman of Liadi, Torah Or, 55b.
And the next one?
Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. Bob Marley, Redemption Song.
Awesome. So whether you are, brilliant enough to really understand the deep connections between these two or not, I was inspired by this kind of combining of two perhaps unlikely partners for the beginning of a book. And so I wanted people to sort of reflect on a moment in their education, whether that be formal education or sort of casual education, where you made a sort of unlikely pairing in this way, either to texts, to people, a song and a really great book, something like that you wouldn't really have typically thought of going together, but something just clicked for you when there were these two pieces that came together, and it just created this moment of kind of unity and intellectual spark. So I'll give everyone a few moments to think about it. Again, if you don't have an answer, don't worry, I'm only going to call in a few people anyway. But if you do have an answer you would like to share with the group, take a few minutes and then you can raise your hand to let us know that you would like to share. Yeah. In the meantime, we're going to be passing around some handouts from Professor Wolfson that will be helpful during his talk, which will begin shortly. You never know. All right, is there anyone that would like to share a dichotomous moment from their education? No one? People love talking. What's going on? Yes. Yeah, go for it.
Please stand up.
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Stephen Smith, political science here at Yale. Since Betty asked for a connection, this is actually connected to something I happen to be teaching this week, work of Isaiah Berlin, famous English political philosopher. Berlin is famous for a doctrine of what he calls value pluralism or moral pluralism. There are different values, they inevitably conflict, and that we have to choose sort of between them, and that one will never fully harmonize with the other. In writing about this, I was reminded of the great Rolling Stones song, "You Can't Always Get What You Want," which I thought perfectly summarized Berlin's idea of the tragic conflicts of moral and value pluralism.
Thank you, Professor Smith. My name is Shmuley Hecht. I'm one of the founders of Shabtai. I am going to see you, and I'm going to raise you. Who here, just be careful, knows who Isaiah Berlin is or knows of Isaiah Berlin? Raise your hand. Okay, not enough people. But about, what do we got, 20%? Yeah, pathetic. Okay. So I urge you to find out who Isaiah Berlin is and to read his work. But that's the seeing you. Now I want to raise you. So the quote, I wonder if, Elliot, you know he was in Anicle of the Alter Rebbe, right? You know that Isaiah was in Anicle of the Alter Rebbe? So the quote that you read and the opening text that we're going to read tonight is from Rabbi Shner Zalman of Liadi, the author of the Tanya, the founder of the Chabad movement, one of the subjects of one of the heavily quoted authors and writers and thinkers and philosophers of the book that is going around the table. And there's a photograph of the Alter Rebbe over there. So when you see Chabad or Lubavitch, the Alter Rebbe was the founder. Isaiah Berlin was actually one of the greatest intellectuals probably of the 20th century, and he taught at Oxford. And he was actually a great-grandchild of Shner Zalman of Liadi. What's more interesting is that in the book that collects, I believe, his letters, there is a family tree, Isaiah Berlin's personal family tree, and the tree could have started anywhere. And I don't know if this was by his discretion or the author or the editor, but it actually starts with Shner Zalman of Liadi. So speaking of two things that you wouldn't think come together, I have raised you. How are you doing over there with your chips? Yeah, so that's the connection between Shner Zalman of Liadi and Isaiah Berlin. Let's move on from there.
Great. Anyone else? Maybe we'll do 2 or 3 more. Guys, what is going on? You still on spring break? Like, literally, what? Okay. Yeah, we got one?
I have a non-intellectual one, if it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Yonatan Elkobi. I'm originally from Hod HaSharon. I'm also in political science here. I'm a PhD student. Mine is a bit different. When I used to live in Jerusalem, me and my roommates had very different routines of cooking. And one time I cooked shakshuka and he cooked pancakes, and we decided to combine between the two. And ever since, we did for like a year and a half, we hosted brunches every Saturday doing epankuka, which is a mix of pancake and shakshuka, because we liked it so much. So that's a unity of two things, not very intellectual, but yes.
No, that's perfect. Thank you. Zach? You gonna go? Oh, Oksana? You might have gotten bailed out if you don't want to do it. Yeah.
Bail out, go, bail.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Oksana. I'm from Kiev. I'm a postdoc at Yale School of Medicine, Department of Neurology. And I would like to mention, to tell you a story. So probably many of you know Professor Marsha Shore. She's a professor of intellectual history. And on February 20th, 2022, Marsha presented me a book called The Taste of Ashes. And several days later, there was a full-scale invasion in Ukraine. And later, after some time, when I started reading this book, I found one phrase that stayed with me for years already. And the phrase says, we know ourselves so far, we have been tested. And I just wanted to share this phrase with you tonight. Thank you.